But ISIS is gaining strength, aren't they?
Well, no, I don't think they're gaining strength. What is true is that from the start, our goal has been first to contain, and we have contained them. They have not gained ground in Iraq, and in Syria, they'll come in, they'll leave, but you don't see this systematic march by ISIL across the terrain.
You've got prescriptions for the future, but how do we know if those prescriptions are any good if you missed it in the past?
Well, John, look, I think that what happened when we abided by the agreement that George W. Bush made with the Iraqis to leave by 2011 is that an Iraqi army was left that had been trained and that was prepared to defend Iraq. Unfortunately, Nouri al-Maliki, the prime minister, set about decimating it.
In the previous debate, you said the greatest threat to national security was climate change. Do you still believe that?
Absolutely. In fact, climate change is directly related to the growth of terrorism. And if we do not get our act together and listen to what the scientists say, you're going to see countries all over the world. This is what the CIA says. They're going to be struggling over limited amounts of water, limited amounts of land to grow their crops, and you're going to see all kinds of international conflict.
So easy to take in the events of the last few days, drop out a few sound bites from the left, and then take them to task for being so incredibly naive and so stunningly obsequious in their responses about what we've witnessed. There are those who have spent the last few days making this all about how Democrats exclusively screwed the political and foreign policy pooch and left us where we are right now, standing over the bodies of more innocents, watching as the so-called intelligent world allows itself to be blued and tattooed by a growing band of mutts and maniacs, pointing out how President Barack Obama has succeeded in making America more of a whiny, politically correct nation and opening the door for ISIS to become stronger, how Hillary Clinton double talks or excuses her way out of her responsibility for what has occurred while she has innocent blood on her hands, conveniently setting aside how every politician is at one time or another guilty of the same exact thing, or how this socialistically leaning, doddering old fool blames the whims of Mother Nature and fossil fuel burning as the reason why they were cleaning up blood in Parisian streets over the weekend. All of which is an easy target. Worthy, but easy. And the same sort of blame game rhetoric we've heard too many times before. So let's see if we can chart a new course here, shall we? It's a new world we live in, kids, and it's not one that we're going to enjoy for the foreseeable future. It's one filled with the realization that we can't bargain with these people. We've allowed them to grow and fester, whether by the action of political punks or bleeding heart hacks. We've empowered them. We have, as a global community of the intelligent, coddled and nurtured them into existence. So where do we go from here? Are we smart enough to learn what history teaches us about such turning points in time? Can we indeed learn from those who have faced such evil before and understood how to defeat it without mercy and with resolve?
We shall fight on the beaches. We shall fight on the landing grounds. We shall fight in the fields and in the streets. We shall fight in the hills. We shall never surrender. And if, which I do not for a moment believe, this island, or a large part of it, were subjugated and starving, then our empire, beyond the seas, armed and guarded by the British fleet, would carry on the struggle until, in God's good time, the new world, with all its power and might, steps forth to the rescue and the liberation of the old.
We haven't learned a thing. As long as we continue to follow the spineless, the megalomaniacal, the frauds, and the feckless, we better keep a good supply of body bags handy. We're going to need them. That's my opinion, telling it like it is. Rock on, true believers. See you tomorrow, right back here on the Hardline.